Hey guys, welcome back to Breadbox Racing and 4x4. This week we're building the engine mounts and transmission mount for the Jeep. Technically, it's the future and they're already done, but that's what we're doing this week. Hey guys, just before the video starts here, if you're enjoying this, please think of subscribing. It really helps the channel. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, slight change of plans. We're going to pick this bushing off first and go shorten the threads on it. Alright guys, so here's our finished cross member. It's made from a piece of 3/8 inch 4 inch by 4 inch angle iron, and I cut this flange down to about 2 inches, 2 1/4. I just kind of guessed it. I didn't really measure it. It uses the original crossmember's bolt points, 4 of them on each side. Okay guys, so I could have used the original crossmember, but I didn't want to. Reason being is it hung down about an 1.5 inches, and this is right near the middle of the Jeep. It was always the first thing that scraped on the ground. Every time. And in fact, I have 2 bent ones outside and 2 backups because that's how often I was hitting them on things. They're not made from the thickest metal. They're strong enough to do their job. They're not weak. But you hit them on a stump and they just turn into a Pringle. So, this one's made from 3/8 steel. You ain't going nowhere. So what we did, we used the angle iron, then we took the bushing out of the truck. That way it just bolts up to the transmission. It's a nice factory part. Obviously was made to take the transmission's load. And then we took this plate off of the crossmember in the truck. I cut it off. It had 2 sets of mount holes on it, one for I think a 4L60, one for 4L80. So I cut off 1 set of holes, bent this little tab here over and down just to support it in the middle a little bit, and that works. Now the one catch here, and this I knew this was going to happen when I built it this way. I have to jack the transmission up or lower the cross member to start the nuts for this bushing. I know it's not ideal, but it doesn't take that much time, really. I mean, if you're having to deal with this bushing already, one of those has already happened. So it really doesn't add much time. And it meant I could build it this way instead of having to have this great big gap here. So it will make it a little tricky to get my exhaust through, but I can get 2.5 inch, or I could probably get a 3 inch through here. I could probably actually even get one through here if I really wanted to. Alright guys, just something to think about here is the order of operations you do stuff in. I was all gung-ho and ready to weld these gussets in place. I just caught myself because I still need to do my 1 inch or 1 inch and a half beads between the track bar bracket and this plate. If I had welded those gussets in place before I put those welds in, I really would have been screwed. So it's something to watch out for. It's something I still have to work on. I'm not the best for it, but we got lucky this time. Anyways, the next step will be getting those 2 welds in, get these all tacked in place, figure out our downriggers from the block down to the bushings, and then we just pull it apart, finish weld everything, and bolt everything in place, and then we should have a block that's supported by the Jeep. I mean, technically it is now, but you know what I mean. Anyway.
A lot of boring math later.
Alright guys, the engine's in. It's sitting on the mounts. There's no more jacks or jack stands underneath the Jeep. They're at least not holding anything up. They're under there just for storage now. I still got to take it back out, finish weld everything. The mounts are welded in enough for it to sit for now, but they're far from finish welded. As you can see here, the map sensor just clears the cowl, and I had to beat that with the hammer a bit to give myself a bit of clearance. But in the end, that allowed me to put the engine up about another inch. So that kind of gives you an idea just how close that map sensor is. It's not touching, but at that little barb for the connector, there's only 3 millimeters. Less than 1/8 of an inch, about 3/32 of an inch, or 3 millimeters. Yeah, not a lot of space, but should work good, and it should seal, I hope. With how tight everything is down near the frame rails, an inch is as good as a mile. Anyways guys, it's been a long 2 days. I've put in more than 24 hours of work in the shop this weekend, so I think I'm gonna go sit down and have some dinner. Yeah. Ta-da!